Rare Books USA online sales monthly report, September 2025. As always, for the gematria, we have art sales, antique, and vintage books, 333 in English ordinal, and book reseller equals 137 in English ordinal, which is the 33rd prime, which means 137 is the 33rd number in its sequence that can only be divided by itself or one. So for anybody new on the Rare Books USA side of things, this is gematria that I use in my life. Rare Books USA's eBay, Etsy, and whatnot stores are subsidiaries of Data Productions Media. Earnings report style monthly updates where we track sales, expenses, and future business advancements. So to start the year, our 2025 forward guidance was $25,000 in revenue. A couple months back, and I believe at the end of Q2, at the first half mark, I updated the revenue that we have a forward guidance of $30,000 for the year, and I'm happy to say that we are still on track to beat that, actually. But I'm going to keep the $30,000 in revenue the same for the forward guidance. Rare Books USA monthly report, September 2025. So let's go through it. Mostly eBay and Etsy, but for the eBay side, I got over 1,000 items sold, so that's an awesome accomplishment. A year and a couple months in to have over 1,000 items sold as a first-time, online reseller, that's awesome. I'm growing, and I'm, hopefully I'm at 2,000 early next year in 2026. Right now, active listings, I have 4,273 listings. I have scheduled listings. I have 115 scheduled listings right now. So we're working on that. Total sales as of the 30th, obviously, we still do have a full day ahead of me before the end of the month. But for the most part, we had generated $3,511.97 on eBay. The average sales price was $30.54. We had 115 items sold, and the net sales from that was $2,314.22. That is significant because when I'm in this range, obviously I want to grow more, but if I'm in this range, I'm able to cover all of my expenses in my life, right? I live below my means for the most part. I'm thrifty. I don't have a whole lot of expenses. I do have bills and I do have expenses, but I don't have a lot. And so it's nice to see as I continue to grow my store that with my net sales from eBay, that I'm now able to start covering all my expenses by just working, right? And be able to work and at least be able to know that, hey, if I hit this mark, I'm living good. Like I'm living at a point where I don't have to worry about, am I going to be able to pay my bills, right? All bills are paid for. If I'm making over 2,000, but as I grow, there's going to be more bills, more scaling. And so that's why I have to keep the revenue going up, but we're working on that. For the whole year of 2025, we've made $23,764.49. Net sales, $16,170.29. I've sold 788 items this year, so I fully believe I'm going to hit that thousand sale mark for the year. Average sale price, pretty solid at $30 across the board, and so that's awesome. Obviously, eBay is my the main driver of my store. So I continue to put a lot of effort into that to keep growing. My goal by the end of Halloween is to have 5,000 eBay listings. We'll see if we get there. In regards to Etsy, so the month of September, I had 7 orders, a revenue of $187.94. Now, that will need to be adjusted a little bit because I have to send a return out. A person wanted a Franklin Library book, said it wasn't exactly what he wanted, so we're issuing a return. But right now, that's not in the process. That probably be taken care of in October's report. So revenue would be around 150, but I'm gonna keep it as is for now. Now, for the full year of 2025, I started on Etsy in May, essentially. I've made $486.83. I've had 19 orders. And so this is a slow burn for Etsy, but I really like it. This is just a nice arm to the whole book operation. And you know, it's a slow growth, but I see the potential in it and how I want to run my business, right? It's just another eBay store but it's on Etsy, right? A lot of the same processes. I'm able to combine the shipping together, as in when I sit down to ship, I just do eBay and Etsy orders on my Sundays and Wednesdays shipping days, right? It's really easy. So I'm excited that as I continue to grow my store, I have 406 active listings right now. Yes, you see 20 sales. And then I have 4 reviews. I have like a 4.8 overall for stars. So it's slow growth on Etsy, but it's growth, it's awareness, and it's building on where I want to be. Whatnot, again, I've only had one Whatnot show. I made $187, and you know, my community, they want me on Whatnot. They want me to sell on Whatnot. I do understand the potential Whatnot. It does have a place in my business, but as I continue to tell, you know, people within my community, my book reselling community, I have so many things going on business wise outside of the book world and things like that. You know, yeah, I'm a full-time bookseller, but I'm a full-time YouTuber, stock market investor. And so I have to really consider all those things, right? And I always harp back on, like, yeah, you can make some easy money on Whatnot after building up your following and stuff. But the main hindrance is I have to be there to make a Whatnot sale. You know, I have to be on camera to make a Whatnot sale. Like, on eBay and Etsy, I list books, and at some point in the future, they come to me for me to fulfill. On Whatnot, when I do a show, I have to be there. I have to do the salesmanship, do the dance, and then I have to ship. And, you know, for where I'm at in my business cycle, in my life, I don't want to do that. Like, I like being able to set back and make money without putting in that front facing effort of sale. Now, obviously, Whatnot does have a buy it now section, but people on Whatnot aren't really there for static listings like at eBay and Etsy. Maybe that changes in the future, and maybe that does change my philosophy in the future as well, where I might just put some static listings on Whatnot, and I might just get orders like that, which I wouldn't be mad at. I like the live stream process. It's just not for me right now. I have other things I'm doing live streams on, right? So when I add in the eBay and Etsy September 2025 sales, that gets me to $3,699.91. So essentially $3,700. I'm still trying to get to that $4,000 mark. I got $3,900 last month. It's eluding me right now, but hopefully in Q4, not only do we touch that, we surpass that with the increase in traffic. The linear forward guidance right now is 24,000. Well, so the linear forward guidance, right, is I have $24,438.40 currently. When I add in everything, right, and you divide that by 9, right, so then you get $2,715 per month, okay, and then you times that by 12, right? And so right now, with the forward linear guidance, I'm looking at generating $32,584.54 for the year of 2025. So that'd be 2,500 more than my updated forward guidance that I did at the 1/2 mark of the year. So, we're having a lot of great growth. I'm excited. And, I know what I have to do. List, source great books, and, be open and be flexible to things. Like I said before, my listing goal is 5,000 eBay listings by Halloween, 500 Etsy listings by Halloween. I'm on track. I'm on pace, but I'm not going to lie. It is harder than you realize. It's like 23 listings a day. Obviously, I can't list every day, but there are days where I list way more than 23 and I schedule listings out. So it's going to be down to the wire if I can get that to that $5,000 listing mark. Because I sell items as well, so I have to replenish. So that's where I'm at on that. Really excited. There's an option. I think. Is there a possibility? Is there a possibility that I could potentially get a $10,000 December month? Yes, I think there's a great possibility for that. Could I make $40,000 this year? I think there's a potentiality for it. We'll see how Q4 goes. I'm not banking on it. I just want to get over 30,000 and continue on my linear forward guidance growth. But there is an outside chance for 40. We'll see though. Last month I started doing eBay promotions at 5%. They're all right. I mean, it definitely has helped a little bit. It hasn't taken a whole lot of percentage off me because not every sale I get is promotions. I would say it's still 60-40 non-promotions to promoted in my store, which is nice, which means I built a good store, in my opinion, where I don't rely on eBay promotions to make sales. And then this another topic I'm going to be talking about later on in a couple of presentations is I started utilizing eBay Seller Capital. I'm using their flexible cash, which is kind of like an advance loan. And the flexible cash, it's not compounded yearly. It's not annual interest. It's just a straight up flat rate of, I think I do it again. It's like 20%. So they get their 20% up front. You just pay it off. And it's something I'll talk more into. But, it depends on who you talk to as business people is, don't use leverage if you can't afford it, right? You can't afford it yourself with cash. And there's another camp as well. Even if you do have the cash to support it, you still want to use leverage. So you keep that cash on hand and such. So like I'm a big stock market investor. And, typically I do have stocks that generate over 10,000, that over 10% per year, right? And so being that with eBay Seller Capital, it's a really, when you think about it, it's a low cost of capital acquiring because it has only a one-time interest fee that doesn't compound, and it just takes off my sales. So it's not like I'm pulling for somewhere else to pay it off. They just take it from my eBay sales. And another thing, since I'm a reseller, my cost of goods sold is already supernaturally low. And so when I take money out of my eBay seller capital account, and when I buy things for it, for the most part, how I'm paying it back is with books that are ranging that I pay for from $1 to $5, right? And so a lot of that revenue I get back, I'm seeing in my account, which is good. But the reason why I'm utilizing the eBay Seller Capital now is I'm purchasing a new car. It's equipment, heavy machinery, and it's important to have a vehicle as we're getting into the winter season that can handle the snow, that can handle me doing loads, like taking longer loads for books, longer road trips to source for books, get collections. These are all big, important things to my scale. So me getting a new car is definitely a business purchase. And so what I'm getting, and obviously I'm following the gematria of the numbers because it's worked out for me, right? Art Turner, Ford Bronco Sport. And so I'm most likely going to be, well, I'm going to be getting a Ford Bronco Sport, most likely 2025. Hopefully I can have that for 10 years, and it's something I can use to the wheels fall off. I like the vehicle, a lot of good space, enough power, and I'm able to take it on in all environments, in all different adventures or sourcing trips. So I'm excited about that. And then, probably next presentation, I'll go into more on how to utilize seller capital and how to look at it from a business point of view, because how the rich stay rich is they use other people's money and they keep their assets, right? And so I want to keep the assets I have, but also utilize other people's money to grow my business. And so that's the monthly report and the general overview of that. So hopefully a lot of that made sense. Now let's get into the financials fundamentals, right? Rare Books USA 2025 financials. So the income statement for the first 9 months up to September 30th. My net income has been lowering. It's a negative $1,014.70. I was hoping before the end of the month it was going to be under 1,000, because obviously with me adding on a car payment, insurance, and a couple other things, that net income is going to be rising some, obviously. Even with me growing my revenues, that slows down the process of me becoming actually profitable, like really profitable. And I can jig my financials right now and I can say I'm profitable, because the books I buy, they're assets, right? And they're not an expense until they're sold. And so a lot of my expenses comes from the general expenses, where I'm spending almost $11,000. That's all books. Those are all books. I've spent $11,000 this year on books, right? And yeah, I've sold some books that I bought this year, but not all 11,000. So I could cut that in half. And so then we're at an operating profit. We're at an operating positive income. So it really depends on how you frame your financials, right? And I'm trying to do it in the most conservative way possible, in the most transparent way. When it comes to tax season, obviously the general expenses are going to account to be assets, right? I'm going to make that difference so the IRS knows, okay, they're going to get some money now as well, because he's finally making profit. But for now, and for how I'm trying to frame my business, general expenses, even though a lot of them are assets, they need to be expenses, because I need to make sure I'm watching my expenses, right? So hopefully that makes sense. As you see, the balance sheet assets, the cash on hand rose a lot, right? Because I got total cash equivalents. I'm about $6,000 in total cash equivalents because of my flexible cash that I got from my vehicle. So that's going to be going down next month when I put my down payment down for my car. But still, we're well cashed up, because even with me taking that down payment for the car, my general monthly operations aren't that heavy. I don't have a whole lot of overhead. It's not that heavy to run my operations. And you see the total cash in, cash out, big cash in September for what's to come. And then at the bottom, it has this is on zero. So at the bottom, it says my cash runway. I have over a year of runway right now, and a cash brush for 12 months, a number of days until you reach the zero balance, if no more cash was received. So obviously we'll get a better gauge of what that looks like next month with my new payments on and such. But right now we are well cashed, we're well stocked. The business is growing and we're going into the busy season. So, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to use seller capital now, because we're going into busy season, and hopefully with that kind of that rising tide, that pays off that advance a lot faster. So that's what we have for the Rare Books USA monthly report and financials. Hopefully this is all making sense, and hopefully you guys believe this is transparent. Make sure you subscribe to my Rare Books USA YouTube channel. You like, you comment this description, and you want to join my Patreon and to see other things I do in my business world, stock investing world, YouTube world. But with that being said, you guys have a good rest of your day.